What is going on, guys? I am here today with my truck, and I will say the headlights are quite bright already. However, knowing me and the amount of lights I put on my Jeep, I need to add some lights to this. So today we're going to talk about pod lights. And for all of you who have seen my videos before, there's no other lights I like to use than other than the MPOWER indestructible illumination lights. These are silicone based, they are aluminum housing, they are indestructible lights, and I don't want to go too crazy on the truck, but I mean, these lights are going to outlast my truck, so might as well grab some of these guys and throw them on here. So, mounting them. This is not a cheap truck, so I'm not going to just drill a hole in here and mount it up there, which I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but that is not what I want to do. So what I found online is this hinge is the same as a standard Ford Ranger. This bracket just bolts into the existing hinges, and it comes up and around this side here, and it sits over the top of the hood. This bracket is only 40 bucks online. There's a lot of different ones that are 100, 150. They come with lights and everything. Honestly, those lights are pretty cheap. You can put cheaper lights up here if you really want to, but you know, you're spending money for the truck. I want to get something very high quality, so thus the MPOWER lights. First thing I do, wait for the car to pass. All right, first thing I gotta do, pop the hood. Not sure why this expensive truck doesn't have those automatic hinges, or the strut rods, or whatever we want to call them. Using the box that the brackets came in, oh, they're sitting over there. I'm going to reuse this. Basically what it's going to do is just kind of brace it here for me. So I'm going to take a marker right here and mark it across so I know exactly where these holes are going to be. With these now marked underneath here, I'm just going to do a quick test fit. Basically slide this up underneath here, match them up with the bolts, and make sure that this bracket actually is the proper one. And as you can see here, it lines up perfectly and gives plenty of room right here. So as you can see, it is perfect. That's going to sit up on there, and as it's opening and closing, the lights are going to come with it, so you don't have to worry about any clearances on here or the window itself. I am going to loosen up one of these at a time. That way it's not going to fully fall itself down. This is supporting it a little bit, but not a crazy amount. So break this free. And I'm not going to fully undo this because it's an open bracket and I can just slip it on in. I'm going to loosen up this other one so I can slip this the exact same way. Also be careful when you're putting this on your battery. I've heard that if you grab it and touch both sides, you can weld your ring to it. Dad, very important. He gave me the finger behind me. He's actually recording for me right now. Anyway, so right here, it's going to go underneath both these two washers, hold in place. The bracket's going to come up, and we're going to snug them up. And with this just barely snug on here, I can adjust the hinge just a little bit to make sure this is lined up. Oh, I guess I don't have marks anymore because that's in the way. Didn't think about that. I'm using this right here, the old spot where there's no paint on it, to line up and match up exactly where the hinge was at. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that looks. Actually, no, let's throw the other one on real quick and then we'll see how it looks. This side is exactly the same, just the opposite, but the only thing you have to be conscientious about is this right here. This is the windshield wiper fluid. So then this is going to go over the top of the bracket, and it's not going to interfere with the bracket itself. But it's exactly the same, so let's hit a time lapse on this. I'm going to be unbolting these two here, doing the same exact thing, hold the box up, and then line everything up afterwards. Okay, so now let's see how well this looks. How great this looks. And in theory, everything should be lined up pretty well. Just double checking just in case. This is one of those you have to slam. But look at that. Brackets are up there and they look almost as if they could be from factory. So looking up in here, this is why I bought these. They are pre-formed, pre-shaped, and they are exactly perfect up against this rubber molding here. So now they are nice and tight and sturdy. And yes, that is a school bus. It's my toy hauler school bus. If you haven't seen anything on that, make sure to check that out. But let's throw some lights on here. Now this is the easy part. Just gotta bolt this on. Don't do that. I just gotta bolt this on, just like this. That looks pretty great. However, there's always a huge debate of straight ahead. Are they gonna be completely to the side as full-on ditch lights? Or should they be at like a 45-degree angle? So we'll take this out tonight and see where we wanna actually adjust this to. For now, I think good like, I don't know, maybe 30-degree angle out should be all right. All right, and that looks pretty darn awesome. Let's check the clearances on here real quick, and then let's jump over to the wiring. And for that, we got auxiliary switches already in the truck, so it's easy to wire them up. All right, let's check this out. So for the MPOWER lights, it does come with this waterproof plug and just bare cables at the end. So it's pretty easy, power and ground. Ground, I'm gonna be running to a stud on the side, but with the Ranger Raptor, there's already physical buttons that all I gotta do is wire this in. The relays, the fuses, everything's in place. So I'm gonna tap into that. So there are a lot of switches up there, and there's a lot of different locations for where all these switches go to wire them in. However, that is not gonna be a part of this video. I'll be using that for another video on how to wire up all those switches. For this one, I'm only gonna be hooking up switch number 1 for just the ditch lights. So I did already hook up this wire onto this hooked over here, and I'm just gonna run that all the way across. So one button turns on both the lights. So for this, I'm gonna tuck this around the outside here. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm gonna zip tie this all the way down here. The point of tucking this up as tight as I can is to avoid this. I don't want to be hitting any of this windshield wiper blade as it comes up and down. So I'm also gonna hook this, anyway, wire tie or zip tie this up to this bracket. So it should hang something like that. So now this should sit somewhere like this, where I can tuck it down and kind of have it out of the way.
And here I am just hooking up both power leads for the lights and both ground leads for the lights, hooking them together with butt end connectors and hooking them all together as one lead for each. And I do highly suggest using butt end connectors that you can heat up with heat shrink already on them, so it creates a watertight seal for the wires being in the engine bay.
Run the power line to power and the ground to ground. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's wired up correctly. Let's give it a try. Okay, as you saw, the lights are on and they are bright. Of course, you turn the lights on and you look at the lights to make sure they're working, blinding you, of course. So let's wait for the sun to set. Let's go out and let's try them out at night and see how they really work on the dirt trails. All right, and as you can see, these light pods up here are super fantastic. As I was ripping up the road up here, I almost hit a deer. I didn't even see it, but good thing the lights were on, because that is what saved that deer, or rather my truck. So it is super awesome. I love having these light pods. Ditch lights, they're a must-have. And I'll make sure and link all this in the description below for you guys. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys all next time.